When you really think about it, does quitting your soul-sucking 9 to 5 by 2018 feel like a real possibility for you? Or do you instantly think, oh my gosh, I would love that, but there's just no way because, and then the reasons start piling up in your head. I want you to think about that. My name is Christine McAllister. I am the Huffington Post featured founder of Life with Passion. And I've helped over 70% of my clients who've come to me in 9 to 5s to quit and stay out of those jobs for good. And I'm going to talk about how you can do the same thing here today. Hang on just a second. I am going to share this over to Life with Passion Society, my private Facebook group. If you're not in there, be sure to join the most amazing group of women I've ever gotten to be a part of. Not just saying that because I am privileged to be the host, but it's true. Other people say it all the time. So Life with Passion Society, you can find and request it in the search bar. So I got to tell you something really, really crazy that happened. And I might not have noticed it if I wasn't tuned into this kind of thing, but it's July if you're watching this live. And over the past few weeks, this month, I've gotten 2 2018 calendars. 2. It's July of 2017, and I have gotten 2 2018 calendars already. I was like, that seems so far away, right? No. Apparently it's not, right? People are already sending calendars. Oh, and I want to stop and say, if you're watching this live or on the replay, please say hello. Let me know that you're watching and drop a comment so I can say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. I want to be able to say hello to you personally. So I'll say hi, Caitlin. And the rest of you, make yourselves known. Hi, Kim. Yay. Good to see you. So 2 2018 calendars so far, right? Hey, Angie. And I thought, oh my gosh, that seems so far away. But it's not, right? Like we're over halfway through 2017. And I was just working with a client yesterday and helping them. They have a monthly event, and I was helping them to plan out these monthly events, and they take the holidays off. And so no events in November or December. And I said, oh my gosh, you only have 3 more events for the year, August, September, October, if we're taking off November and December. That's it. Like, what? So it's this idea that, right now, Christmas, the holidays, Thanksgiving, all of that seems really far away, right? But the people who are marketing and sending, these fundraising things are sending 2018 calendars to me already. And so I want you to think about that not being as far away as it seems. And also, does it feel possible for you to quit your job by 2018 for now? Right now, does it feel possible? I'd love for you to answer in the comments. The reason that it might not be feeling possible for you right now, if this feels like, no, I can't because of the money or because of the health insurance or because I have this issue or because of my family and this, and I'm not sure if I can replace my income or my business isn't far enough along yet, or I don't know how I'm going to make money or any of those things. It's because you haven't learned to think like an entrepreneur yet. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because most of us, we're not born knowing how to think like entrepreneurs, just like we're not born knowing how to walk, something that we learn, we figure it out, right? If you've ever watched a kid, I'm watching my daughter try to figure that out right now, to go from crawling to walking. And then we go through usually a couple of decades of schooling where we're taught to be really good employees. And so we graduate, and that's what we know. That's what most people are doing, is they have a 9 to 5. And so we have a desire to do something else. A lot of times we really question that because it seems so out of the norm. And our biggest desire is to feel connected, is to feel safe, is to feel part of a community. That's just built hardwired into our DNA, right? If you're a horse person or a dog person, we're like them. We're like herd animals or pack animals. We really are wired for connection. It's in our DNA. And so one of our biggest needs is to feel connected. And so when everybody else is doing one thing and we feel like we want to do something else, like we can often feel like there's something wrong with us or feel just really uncertain about it because it's just not how we've been conditioned and trained to think. And so what I want to share with you is that there is learning to think like an entrepreneur is a learnable skill. It is just that. It is something that you learn, like learning to ride a bike, like learning to be a good writer. Hey, Sherry! Like learning to be a good gardener, right? Grow herbs. I have an herb garden. Like learning to cook. Learning to think like an entrepreneur is a skill set like any other skill set that you acquire. So if you have the desire, but you just don't know how yet, I would love to challenge you to start telling yourself, that's okay, like I can learn this. I can learn this, rather than dismissing it and going, oh, there's no way I could quit my job because I don't know how. Okay? Yeah. Angie says, I'm finally getting the difference in mindset and skill. That's awesome, Angie. And you know what? Like, there's even some overlap between the two, right? Like, because I think mindset is something that you can learn, like a skill. Like you can master certain skills, you can also master certain mindsets. So I think, when we're running our own businesses, a lot of times we think, well, I just have to be better at this, and we expect ourselves to be better at it overnight, right? Because we're high achievers and we think there's something wrong with us if we don't already have this way of thinking, but it's just a skill that you can learn like anything else. And if you want to quit your job in 2017 or 2018 or 2017, if you want to quit your job by 2018, with the 5 months that are left in the year, it's time to start learning to think like an entrepreneur, because out of that, you're going to start acting like one too. It's time to start thinking like an entrepreneur, because out of that, you will start to act like one too. Now, what do I mean? It's time to start thinking about things like selling what you have to offer being a way to help people rather than a way to pressure people, a way to annoy people. It's time to start thinking about selling as service rather than selling as being like the used car salesman that makes you want to throw up. It's time to start thinking about being visible with your offer, because there are people you can help to achieve the same results you have, or to help, you can help achieve the same results you've helped other clients have, right? So like, for instance, if I never talked about the fact that, I've helped 70% of my clients who came to me in jobs to get out of those jobs, then people wouldn't know that that was possible for them too, right? If I hid out about that, if I never got on here and shared what I knew, there are a lot of people who, hundreds of people who wouldn't be inspired, right? But it wasn't easy for me to do my first live stream. I had to overcome a lot of perfectionism and a lot of fear, a lot of nerves. And I'll even tell you, just today, I recorded my biggest feature to date ever in business or life ever. And I was really nervous. It was a whole different level for me. And I'm really comfortable with publicity. I love doing interviews. I've been on like almost 24 podcasts in the last several months. And, I've done all kinds of live streams, right? Hundreds of live videos, blah, blah, blah. This was a really big deal. And because it was a new level. And so I just share that with you because you learn to think like an entrepreneur, but entrepreneurs are still human, right? And as we get to new levels, sometimes things, we get nervous about things because we're just real people. And so the great thing about that is that totally applies to you too. Okay? It totally applies to you too. Yeah, Angie says, just getting that too. I love that. I love that. I'm so happy to answer your questions about, yeah, well, that's nice, Christine, but I really can't quit. And here's why. Like, you don't understand my situation. And here's why, right? Because I talk to women all the time who are like, oh, yeah, well, that's a nice idea. Or they say something like, must be nice for you, but I can't because. And I really don't buy that, because it is a change in thinking. So meaning, like, as Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't. Either way, you're right. So if you're telling yourself, well, that's nice for you, but I can't because, then okay, you're right. But what I'm here to do is challenge that a little bit and encourage you to shift that and say, if it feels impossible right now, what if you start saying, Christine did it. Like some of the other people in, Life with Passion Society, which if you're not in there, please join us, my Facebook group. They've done it. Like Christine says, 70% of her clients have done it. Like maybe I can do it too, right? What would it take for me to start moving toward that? Maybe it's a clear, simple plan, right? Maybe it's to start looking at what I already have to offer instead of feeling like I need to go get another certification or a certain degree or a certain, piece of paper or whatever. Maybe you love to learn, but maybe that's gotten to the point where it's holding you back because you're telling yourself you have to get those certifications before you're qualified to help people. And usually that's not the case. Usually you're already qualified to help people and you just haven't given yourself that permission to offer something that is going to allow you the opportunity to be served as well because you're going to get paid for it. A lot of times we give stuff away for free. We really want to help people. Guess what? That's not going to help us quit our job. But does it mean that we're bad for wanting to charge for our expertise? No, it doesn't. It's a shift in perspective. It's a shift in perspective because I can tell you this. My clients, part of the reason my clients get results is because they've invested. Is because, as they say, the sports analogy, they have skin in the game, right? I could give the exact same coaching advice to somebody who wanted to quit their job and was meeting with me weekly for free, and I could give it to the same person who is a private client who has invested with me thousands of dollars, and guess who's going to get better results if I give them the exact same advice? Guess who's actually going to follow through? The one who paid for it, because we as humans are wired to value what we pay for. And so I share that because when you charge, it's not only for you to be able to live your life and stay in business, it's also for the client to help themselves show up. And that is an entrepreneurial mindset shift that you can make right now. To start telling yourself you're not bad or wrong or salesy or slimy for charging people, but it's actually going to help them get better results because they're going to show up and implement and value what they paid for. Okay? So think about that. If you are telling yourself that you can't quit your job because it feels impossible in the new year or even before the new year, the shift that you can make today is to say, what if I could? What if I had an answer for this thing that's telling me why I can't? What if I had the answer for that? Then could I? See if another reason comes up because maybe that's the real reason you can't quit, right? So I'll give you an example. Like for me, when I was in my 9-to-5, I said all the time, like, I just need a real plan. I just need a real plan. I need to know like how I'm going to replace my income. And yes, that was true. But what was underneath that was the fear of failure. What if I don't? What if I don't replace my income? What if I can't pay my bills, right? It was the fear of humiliation. It was the fear of shame. It was the fear of failure. And that kept me stuck in a 9-to-5 that I hated for years and years and years on end. And so what is it that's underneath? Like, what if the first thing was answered? If you say, I can't quit my job by 2018, it's impossible because XYZ. If you solved that, like, okay, well, the money piece, like, you're going to make, you're going to set yourself up smart in a way that's going to allow you to replace your income because you're going to have a clear plan. Then what else? What's the next what if? Because that's something to look at flipping on its head and start telling yourself a different story around it. Now, these are just a couple of examples of how to start thinking like an entrepreneur so that you can quit your job in 2018 or maybe even before, right? And I would love to share more of these tips and tricks and strategies with you and answer your personal questions on the masterclass that I'm going to be hosting on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern called My 5 Secrets to Quitting Your 9-to-5. The link is in the comments and you can click there, really easy to sign up, get all the information. It's going to be a private group of women where it's going to be a really safe space to get these tips and tricks and strategies from me that I use with my one-on-one clients that have helped them quit and stay out of their 9-to-5s. And then also to go even deeper and tell you a little bit more about how you can implement these things right now. So that if your desire is to quit your 9-to-5 by 2018, I want to make that possible for you. I want to give you the tools and strategies and the insights that you need to be able to do that, because that's why I do what I do every day. Truly, that is my mission. That is why I founded Life with Passion, to help women like you do just that. So I'm Christine McAllister. I'm so happy to take your questions. Drop them in the comments here. Make sure to join me and say hello over in Life with Passion Society as well. Let's make this shift to quit your job by 2018. It starts right here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.